In addition to using the is.equal_to method to check that a value is as we expect it to be, and perhaps with some tolerance, we can also check that a value falls within a specific range. So here we have this player character class, and this represents a player in a fantasy role-playing game. So we have a number of properties here, such as health, a list of weapons that they might have, and we have a couple of public methods here, sleep and take damage. Notice in this sleep method here, when it's called, we get this health increase to the player's health, and when the player sleeps, the amount of health that they get back, so they'll get between an additional 1 and 100 health points back. Let's have a look at a couple of tests here. So here I'm creating a new player character, and I'm setting its initial health to 100. We're then calling sleep in our system under test, and then we want to make some assertion on the resulting health of our player character. Because we get a random increase, we don't know exactly what this resultant health will be, so instead we can use ranges here. So rather than using is.equal_to, here we're using the is.greater_than method. And as its name suggests, we can supply a value here, and this will assert that the value is more than 100. So in this case it should be 101 or greater. So let's run this. And we can see it passes. But this test doesn't really capture the fact that they should get between 1 and 100 health back. We're just saying as long as it's greater than 100, this test will pass. So if we made a typo in our class here, and say we made this 1010, then our test here will still always pass, but we haven't checked the upper bound here. So as an alternative to the greater than, if we want to check that a value falls within a specific range, we can instead use the is.inRange method. And this method takes the lower bound and the upper bound of the range inclusive that we want to check. So here we're saying the resultant health should be between 101 and 200. If it's less than 101 or greater than 200, our test will fail. So let's see this in action. And now we can see our test passes. There's a number of other ways we can use range-related asserts in NUnit. So for example, we could use the is greater than or equal to. So our assert will pass if the value is greater than or equal to the value we specify. We can use is.less than to check that a value is less than a value. And its accompanying is less than or equal to method.